traffic can raise stress levels, and stress can kill you. So first of all, what is stress? The lesson says stress is the body's physical, mental, and emotional response to the demands of life. And each of these demands has a stressor. We'll do a little more on that. So what we have here is human response to external stimuli. Stress, therefore, according to Dr. Julian Melgosa, has two basic components. One, the stress agents or the stressors, as our lesson says. We can also call them stimuli, as given by another definition. And then the second component is the individual's response to the stress. And we are told that stress is a normal reaction that happens to everyone. And if our stress level goes to 0, we would not be able to function properly. The human body is designed to experience stress and to react to it. So stress should not be considered as being just negative. There is a positive side, as it keeps us alert, motivated, and ready to avoid danger. So let us see what our lesson says. How does the body respond to a stressor? Let's see how the body's alarm system works. And we are going to use the words adrenaline, normal, and pressure to fill in the blanks in some statements. And the first statement, whenever a threat is perceived, the body releases blank. And yes, the word we should choose is adrenaline. Now, some more on adrenaline. Adrenaline is a hormone, a chemical substance released by the adrenal glands. Glands are organs in the body that gland is an organ in the body that secretes a chemical substance for use in the body or for external discharge. Okay, so now the adrenaline is secreted by adrenal glands, and these are located at the top of each kidney. Adrenaline is also known as the fight or flight hormone. It is released in response to a stressful, exciting, dangerous, or threatening situation. So yes, we have answered, or we have responded to our first statement. When a threat is received, the body releases adrenaline. Now the next statement, the heart pounds faster, muscles tighten, and blood blank rises. What should we put there? Pressure. Yes, blood pressure rises. And the last statement, when the threat disappears, the body relaxes and returns to normal. Now, as said before, stress is helpful. We need it to face emergencies, but continual stress is harmful. It can kill you. Prolonged periods of stress can cause heart disease, stroke, diabetes, high cholesterol, ulcers, hypertension, colitis, obesity, and even cancer. And so we want to look at 6 things we can do to manage stress. And there are a number of strategies, and strategy number 1 to manage stress, use whole body therapy. Now, what's that? The scripture says in 1 Corinthians 9 and verse 27, I discipline my body and bring it into subjection. That is control, whole body therapy. Now, to explain that a little more, whole body therapy is the employing of techniques that enable the whole body to handle stress. Our church organization has 2 programs which fall under the heading of whole body therapy, New Start and Celebrations. These are acronyms. Celebrations is from the Health Ministries Department of the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. We don't have the time to explain fully, but the components of the programs give rise to the acronyms. For example, the N in both New Start and Celebrations relates to nutrition, but both are online, so please do visit these programs. Now we go back to the statements under strategy 1 on the whole body therapy, and we're going to read through these statements and decide whether they are true or false. Statement number 1: if I strengthen my whole body, I can better withstand stress. That's true. Statement number 2: this requires a nutritious diet, regular exercise, adequate sleep. That's also true. Statement number 3: whole body therapy says, if it feels good to the body, do it. Oh no, that is false. We are to avoid all that is harmful and do in moderation that which is good. And so we come to statement number 4. This therapy leads us to avoid tobacco, alcohol, and caffeine. True, because these are harmful substances. Let's go to strategy number 2 in trying to control stress. And it says, take charge of the areas of life you can control. Again, we are going to look at some statements and decide whether they are true or false. So statement number 1, write up a to-do list at the start of each month, week, and day. True. Number 2, limit your list of activities to what you can manage. True. Prioritize. Do the lighter tasks first and the heavier ones later. Oh no, that is false. We should do the heavier ones first and the lighter ones later. And the last statement, have an appointment? Do you have an appointment? Start out early. Less haste, less stress. Now we come to strategy number 3. And a question is asked here. Well, first of all, it says engage in relaxing activities. And a question is asked, what did Saul use? So we are going to go to 1 Samuel 16, and we are going to look at verse 23. So I'm reading for you. It says, and it came to pass when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul, that David took a harp and played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him. So what did Saul use? Music, instrumental music. He listened to David playing on the harp. Other relaxing activities: take a walk, work in the garden, breathe deeply. And it says practice. Well, we are not going to practice, but breathing deeply, that happens when you breathe from the diaphragm. And it works, you know. I do that. I use my smartwatch. And when I tap on relaxation, I see, please calm down. Then I can choose whether I deep breathe for 1 or 2 minutes, and you are giving instructions for inhaling and exhaling. At the end, I see, good job. So try it and tell yourself, good job, which leads us right into the next section, positive self-talk. And Proverbs 17 and verse 22 says, a merry heart does good like medicine. If I say negative things to myself, I will have more stress. If I say positive things to myself, I will have less stress. So let's try that activity. Now, here's an example of a Martha who her boss is screaming at her, where's the agenda, Miss Slothful? No, that is such a very negative thing to say, to call someone slothful, because, you know, slothful conveys the idea of a temperamental inability to act promptly or speedily when action or speed is called for, meaning that it is the person's nature and the person is not just having like a bad day or an off day. So that is a very negative statement. But here's another, well, it says, give an example of negative self-talk. Here is one. I can't do it. It's too hard. Let's change that to something positive. I'm going to try. I can learn something new from this. Strategy number 5, communicate wisely with your stressor. Person in this case, when talking, avoid you statements, use I statements. And here's example number 1. Instead of, you didn't tell me you wanted the agenda first. That sounds like laying blame, doesn't it? Well, she could say, sir, I didn't realize the agenda was needed first. That's accepting responsibility. Example 2. Instead of, you never help with the dishes. No, what could I say? I could say, I could use your help with the dishes sometimes. Now we go to strategy number 6, practice God-centered meditation. How to do that? And we're going to read from Psalm 46 and verse 10. Psalm 46 and verse 10. This is what it says. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. Now, having read that from the Bible, we are going to choose the right words to fill in the blanks. And the words are meditating, prayer, and Bible. We can spend quiet time talking with God each day in blank. What word would you put there? Prayer. Yes, that's correct. We can spend quiet time learning about God daily in blank study. What would you put there? Bible. Yes, Bible study. And we can spend quiet time with God each day meditating on his love. Now, in addition to daily meditation, we also need weekly spiritual meditation. And the question is asked, when was this strategy instituted? And we are going to read Genesis 2, verses 1 and 2. The Bible says, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And so the question is asked, when was this strategy instituted? The strategy being the weekly spiritual meditation. And according to what we just read in the Bible, at the end of creation. And our lesson says, this is a little known but very effective strategy for combating stress. So let's explore some of its secrets. Secret number 1, it's a stress reliever for all human beings. Let's read what the Bible says. We are going to look at Genesis 2 and verse 3 and Mark 2 and verse 27. So Genesis 2 and verse 3, this is what it says. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. Now let's go to Mark 2 and verse 27. See what that says. Mark 2 and verse 27. Mark 2 and verse 27 says, and he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. So now, based on those two texts, we are going to look if the statements we have here in our lesson are true or false. Statement number 1, the Sabbath was first given to Moses on Mount Sinai. Oh, that is false. We just read that the Sabbath was given right in the very beginning. Statement number 2, it was first given to Adam in Eden for the whole human family. Oh, that is so true. And statement number 3, since Adam was not a Jew, the Sabbath cannot be Jewish. And that is true. Statement number 4, as marriage was made in Eden, Sabbath was made in Eden. And that is also true. Now we are going to Secret number 2. This special day is easy to identify, and we are going to have to read from our Bible to identify this special day. We are going to read Luke 23, but the lesson says Luke 23:53 to Luke 24, verse 1. But I think we should read from verse 52. So let's go to Luke 23. Reading from verse 52. This man went unto Pilate and begged the body of Jesus, and he took it down and wrapped it in linen and laid it in a sepulchre that was hewn in stone, wherein never man before was laid. And that day was the preparation, and the Sabbath drew on. And the women also which came with him from Galilee followed after, and beheld the sepulchre and how his body was laid. And they returned and prepared spices and ointments, and rested the Sabbath day according to the commandment. Now, upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. Now we are going to see if we can fill in the blanks based on what we just read. So, first thing, A, Crucifixion Day. We say Good Friday. The Bible calls it Preparation Day. Day in the tomb. We say Saturday. The Bible calls it Sabbath. Resurrection. We say Easter Sunday. The Bible calls it first day of the week. Now, so this weekly spiritual meditation, this special day, according to Genesis 2 and verse 2, was instituted by God on the 7th day following God's 6 days of creation. So this special day, God's Sabbath, falls between the preparation day, Friday, and the first day of the week. Now, Friday is the 6th day of the week. The preparation day is the 6th day of the week, and the first day of the week. So the Sabbath falls in between the 6th day and the first day of the week, and so that makes it the 7th day. So we have identified this special day, God's Sabbath, as the 7th day of the week. Secret number 3. Christ never changed the Sabbath. Instead, he kept it. And we are going to read from Matthew 5 and verses 17 and 18, and Luke 4 and verse 16. And then we're going to look at some statements to see whether they are true or false. So we are reading from Matthew 5, 17 and 18. And this is what it says. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. That's Jesus speaking. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. And then we are going to look at Luke 4 and verse 16. In Luke 4 and verse 16, we read, and he, that's Jesus, came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up to read. So let's look at the statements now. Statement number 1. Jesus abolished only one of the 10 commandments. Oh, that is so false. We are going to tie that into the second statement, which says, Jesus said he did not come to destroy any part of God's law. That is so true. So not even what seems insignificant, a jot or a tittle, did Jesus want to take away from the law. And imagine to abolish a whole commandment, that would be very significant. So we know that that first statement is so false. Statement number 3, Christ practiced what he preached. He kept the Sabbath. That's true. A Christian is a follower of Christ, so we should keep the Sabbath. That's true. Secret number 4. The Sabbath is God's best description for human stress. And we are going to read from Isaiah 58, verses 13 and 14. And then we are going to choose the right words: God's cares, ready, and holiday. So Isaiah 58, verses 13 and 14. This is what it says. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. So now let's fill in the blanks. For a full day each week, I put away life's cares. Yes, the word we select there is cares. And this would include job, school, and business. Second statement, I don't talk or even think of them. I leave them in blank, God's hands. Yes, my mind gets a weekly blank holiday, experiencing freedom from stress. After such renewal, I am blank. I am ready to face the challenges of a new week. And so when we spend the Sabbath with God, we worship the Creator, we study the Bible, we talk with God, we gather with other believers, we spend time in nature, we heal and support others, we set aside distractions and sit at the feet of Jesus. That's how we spend the Sabbath. And now here's your homework. Secret number 5. It's Christ's favorite day to relieve stress. 40% of his miracles were done on the Sabbath. So here's your reading homework. You're going to read about the man paralyzed for 30 years. Then he stood up and walked. That's in John 5, 1 to 15. Bent over for 18 years, the woman walked straight. Luke 13, 10 to 17. And blind from birth, the man first saw on Sabbath. John 9, 1 to 14. That's your reading homework. Secret number 6. The Sabbath will be kept through all eternity. And we find that in Isaiah 66, verses 22 and 23. For as the new heavens and new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. So we just read from Isaiah that we will worship each Sabbath in the new earth. When Jesus comes again, we'll have a new planet, stress-free forever. And each Sabbath, we will worship the Prince of Peace on his day of peace. And so we are so grateful to God. We are going to close with a prayer of thanksgiving using from the Psalm 103, verses 1 and 2. That is our prayer of thanksgiving. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. Amen.